Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Stage Dynamics. In this video I want to talk about why we can't have nice things. More pointedly, this video is about polite discourse. There's some who've been famously quoted as saying that polite discourse is impossible on the internet. And I'm inclined to agree to a great extent. I mean, obviously there's going to be exceptions, but unfortunately they're not necessarily the rule. Today I was tagged in something on Instagram, a post by Congressman Seth Moulton. He's from the 6th Congressional District. If you don't know who Seth Moulton is, I'm not surprised. Until he wrote an op-ed for the New York Daily News, most people probably didn't know who he was either. Apparently he's a Marine Corps veteran, and his big quote is, "I know assault rifles. I carried one in Iraq. They have no place on American streets." I think that's specific. It's political pandering. The esteemed representative, Mr. Moulton, is attempting to garner support from his Democratic base by coming out and basically screaming at the top of his lungs that, hey, I've used this rifle, I'm in the know, I'm not on the 2A team, or I am on the 2A team, but I don't believe in these rifles. I don't believe that people should have them. I don't believe. I don't care what you believe. That's why I have a Second Amendment right. It's a right, a recognized right. But that's kind of beside the point. Seth's words are his opinion, and he's definitely entitled to his opinion. And since he's a representative, hopefully for the sake of his constituents, he's representing the belief of his base, which is his job as a politician, to represent the belief of his base. Now, if he's going against the grain and not representing the belief of those who elected him, then he's wrong and should either be recalled or not reelected. That's also not the point. The point is those of us in the 2A community, those of us in the constitutional community. This shouldn't just be a 2A thing. This should be a rights issue, but it's not. We are kind of segregated, separate but equal, if you will, from those who are huge pro First Amendment or Fourth Amendment supporters. We don't all play on the same team to a certain degree. The Second Amendment is constantly under attack. Don't want to get off on a tangent. My point is this. We need to do a better job of representing ourselves. And I say need because it is a need. We need polite discourse. And nowhere is polite discourse needed more than on the internet. And I know, like, it's the internet. You can say whatever you want and get away with it, which is somewhat true. But I'll just point it out to you. So this is Seth Moulton. This is the photo. This is the photo I was tagged in on his Instagram, which has like less than 2,000 followers. Not really important because the guy is an elected official, so obviously he's got more than 2,000 people supporting him. Maybe. The point is, I was tagged in it. There's like 700 comments. Here's some of the comments. Just take a read, just take a quick look at some of the things people were saying on this public Instagram. And you may be thinking to yourself, like, I totally agree with those guys. I would say similar things. And that's where we have a problem. These are not comments that lead to polite discourse. These are not comments that are going to sway someone who is on the fence, someone who's genuinely trying to make a decision on which side they support. Because this is a side issue. Make no mistake. We are battling for the survival of the Second Amendment as we know it currently, right now. Not the Second Amendment as our fathers knew it, or our grandfathers knew it, or our great-grandfathers knew it. This is our Second Amendment as it stands. And for those of you that want to repeal NFA and the 1986, and you were worried about the 94 assault weapon ban coming back, this is the Second Amendment as we know it. So this is the time where we stand on a precipice, especially after Orlando, and we have to face the fact that we could see another significant change and another significant encroachment on our rights. Public opinion does matter in this. Obviously, there's some juvenile level of entertainment in things that were being said to Congressman Moulton. For personal enjoyment, that's fine. If you want to agree with some of the things that were said, and obviously Instagram isn't the only place that he's being derided and insulted at a very, very adolescent level. we have to, and I'm going to say we have to, I'm going to say it again, because we have to be able to present a more intelligent debate. I've had some exchanges recently on Twitter, and I know this is like, why are you even talking about this? Because it matters. Because social media is the new way that people instantly communicate. Social media is the way that some people are going to form their opinions and how many people have form their opinions. I had someone hit me up on Twitter and basically say, whoa, are you got any examples of an AR-15 being used in self-defense? I haven't seen any. And I keyed in on that word seen. I want to put that in quotes, seen. The reason I keyed in on that is because it really tells you that person's level of involvement. They didn't say, I haven't been able to find any. They said, I haven't seen any, which means what? To me, and again, I'm inferring a little bit, but deductive reasoning is a thing. I'm inferring that this person hasn't bothered to actually do any independent research, which is completely, I guess, ironic in a way, considering they're tweeting most likely on a cell phone, which probably has a web browser, which everybody has access to Google or Bing, if you're into that. Or yeah, is Yahoo still a thing? And you can type in AR-15 home defense and hit enter, and you'll actually get some current results. In fact, somebody just recently put together a big compilation video. It's one of the top results on Google. And there's your examples. We obviously can't give examples of what hasn't happened, such as someone breaks into a house, runs into dad or mom or sister or brother in the hallway armed with the AR-15, no shots are fired. That rifle just served its purpose without firing a single round. Those are the things that don't get reported because if it doesn't happen, it's not news. Point being, these people that are on the fence, from whatever side, demographic, background, social creed, religion, whatever, they are potential allies. And if they happen upon Congressman Moulton's Instagram, or Congressman Moulton's Facebook, or Congressman Moulton's Twitter, or Barbara Boxer's Twitter, or Nancy Pelosi's Twitter, or Hillary Clinton's Twitter, or Donald Trump's Twitter, or Facebook or Instagram, or the news, or article comments, or whatever, and they read pro-2A, apparently pro-2A people, speaking in this way, is that going to turn them off? Is that going to push them to the wrong side of the fence? Make no mistake, it is the wrong side of the fence. Everyone in America should always be pro constitutional rights, regardless of the emotional connection to it. You should be able to say, and I'll paraphrase this a little bit, as Voltaire once said, I disagree with what you say, but I defend to your death your right to say it. I feel much the same way. I encourage people, no matter what their opinion, to have an opinion. And I'll engage them in conversation and debate so long as that debate is polite. Why does it need to be polite? Because you don't really get a point across when you're just yelling at each other instead of listening to each other. If I want to sway someone's opinion on the Second Amendment, if I want to sway someone's opinion on self-defense rights, I have to do that in a way that they're going to be susceptible to the conversation. They are going to be willing to engage and unlock that part of themselves that allows them to look at alternate viewpoints on an idea. And insulting someone's family lineage, sexual preference, or just calling them mass amounts of expletives strung in a row that doesn't even diagram into a proper sentence is really not the way to grab that third party and bring them into your point of view. You'd be much better served going on there and being like, hey, Congressman, I disagree with you and here's why. Even if you want to leave a snarky comment, like, that's fine. But do it in such a way that the comment actually has some kind of political substance to it, versus a threat or just a spew of verbal diarrhea, a little fecal finger painting via your keyboard, if you will. George Saunders said, when something really bad is going on in culture, the average guy doesn't see it. He can't. He's average and is surrounded by, immersed in the cant and discourse of the status quo. Those people that are on the fence, and I talk about them because they're important to the issue. They're important to all issues, especially issues that involve our rights, and our rights are definitely at stake. This isn't beating a dead horse. This horse has not yet begun to be beat. When you think about engaging, commenting, just consider, think, if you will, for a second about that person who's on the fence. And if they're just lurking, they're monitoring, they're watching, they're reading, maybe they're about to come to your comment. And think about how your comment could sway their opinion and drive all their future research. It's almost impossible these days to find any opinion that is completely unbiased, because an opinion by nature is not a fact, whereas facts are unbiased. Facts are true whether you want them to be or not. Statistics can be manipulated. Opinions can manipulate statistics, and those statistics can manipulate popular opinion, which can force us to give up and to see an erosion in some of our rights. Before you comment, think about what you're about to say, and if that's going to force someone to see things from the other side of the conversation. If you don't, and this goes back to grade school, man, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sometimes you have to be mean, though, so that doesn't really hold as much water as it may have when we wanted everyone to be on their P's and Q's, so to speak. Sometimes you have to be firm and you have to be a little combative in the way that you talk, but you can do so in an intelligent way, and you can also do so with facts. That same person on Twitter who wanted me to do their work for him could have easily gone to Google, done the research themselves, and had a more informed opinion to converse with me, instead of me having to start from square zero and show them some things, send them some links, because I took the time. I was a little snarky, but not to the point where I was turning them off for the conversation. The conversation actually ended up going in a pretty positive direction. Did I change their opinion? I don't know. But I know that I was able to have an intelligent discussion with them because I took the time to have an intelligent position on the topic. It's so easy to do research. You don't even have to go to the library anymore. We don't even actually have to turn on the computer anymore, if you even own one. You literally have a smartphone. You can find everything you need to substantiate any accusations you make in a comment on your cell phone, unless those accusations are simply irrelevant or insultive, or they just actually aren't accusations at all. They're just insults and expletives strung together in a sentence that is designed to make, well, I think you're supposed to be trying to hurt somebody's feelings, but all you're really doing is making yourself look like an idiot. Now, I've brought this up in the past. I did a video last year, Second Amendment discussion, I believe is what I titled it, and you can find it if you're interested, where I talked about we needed to become a more intelligent community. I still believe that, because for all the very intelligent people we have out there who are taking the message out there and speaking on our behalf, I was not raised with the Constitution to depend on another person to speak on my behalf, when I'm able to do it just as well or better, because I know me and I know my personal feelings and my personal opinions on the facts better than this person could. I'm not talking strictly about politics. I mean, obviously I have to vote for someone because voting is an American institution and is something you should definitely participate in. And for those of you that say voting doesn't work but you don't do it, you're proving yourself right. I want to be able to substantiate my accusations, and I want to be able to substantiate my position, and I want to be able to tell someone they're wrong, if they in fact are, and then back that up with concrete, as unbiased as possible, facts as to why they are wrong. And I'm not doing it to prove them wrong, so much as I'm doing it to show them that maybe they were led astray, and I can be of some assistance. In some ways, we are not winning the war for hearts and minds. There's plenty of evidence to show that the education system is against us, where they may not get us, but they'll get our kids, so to speak. They'll change their minds, and they'll educate them to be anti-Second Amendment, or anti-freedom in a lot of ways. We are becoming less free. And that's definitely something that we're going to have to address. And for those people that are going to, again, get in the comment sections and start talking about revolution and 3%er and everything like that, just remember that a revolution is in the minds of the people. A war is simply a byproduct of that. And if you're actually sitting at home dreaming for conflict between Americans, then you've given up before you even tried. And I highly suggest that you educate yourself on just what that's going to entail. Read up on the last time we had a revolution and see how awesome that went for the people who eventually won, because it wasn't an easy fight. It sounds cool because we have so much history between then and now. We're not even close to that point yet. But we need to sway the people who are on the fence. Now, why am I talking about this, you might ask? I asked myself the very same question. I got into firearms instruction. I am a firearms instructor. That is my profession. I do write as a hobby because I got some things to say. I started a YouTube channel, and recently I've done more and more what you might call commentary pieces, like what I'm doing right now. I'm not demonstrating any techniques or anything like that. I'm just talking. I'm just giving my opinion and sprinkling in some facts where they fit. Maybe throw in some cool quotes and, you know, edit it up, put it in a video, put it on YouTube, and that's really cool. I never thought, getting into firearms instruction on the private side, that I would be doing anything like this. I don't mind it at all. I actually enjoy it, and I hope it resonates with the people who bother to watch my admittedly longer videos than most what you'd find on YouTube. But the point is, I'm not special. There's nothing I'm doing that you can't do. And this isn't like a call to action or anything like that. This is just a request. I'm actually going to plead with you to be more intelligent in your discourse, because I want us as a Second Amendment community, as a pro-American community, as patriots, to sway those who are on the fence to see that the only path to freedom is through polite discourse. And if we have polite discourse, and if we're able to communicate coherently with those who want to take our rights away from us, it's going to be hard for them to sway public opinion. When our voice makes sense, it's crisp, it's clear, it's coherent, and it's always polite discourse. And the other side can rant, scream, rave, and threaten all they want. The loudest guy in the room usually gets the most negative attention. So let's not be the loudest guy in the room. Let's be the community that is having intelligent conversations wherever we go. So whenever we fly the flag of Second Amendment rights, we're doing so in a very intelligent and thoughtful way. This, of course, doesn't eliminate jokes, you know, in good fun kind of things. But if you're going to go into the enemy camp, so to speak, the other side of the debate, and you're just going to just verbal diarrhea all over the comments section, that's not doing me any favors. It's not doing your other fellow gun owners any favors, and it's not doing our elected representatives who are actually fighting for our rights any favors at all, because public opinion, vox populi, is something that we're going to have to deal with whether we like it or not. So again, just before you type, think about, do you have 2-3 minutes to maybe research your point? Or if not, do you have 30 seconds to think of a more, not politically correct, but a more polite discourse, way that you can deliver your point in a way that that person on the fence is going to read it and say, you know what? That actually kind of makes sense. I can kind of see where that person's coming from. I don't really agree with them, but now I understand why they think that way. That's what we want, to be understood. And once we're understood, we want to help people see things the same way we see them. Now, I don't have to respect another person's opinion. Absolutely not. I don't. But if I want to have a conversation, a meaningful conversation, I have to understand their position. So by being a troll or by just spewing insults, are you helping the people on the fence understand your position? Or are you just maybe proving their bias correct by saying there's another violent, angry, God-fearing gun owner just spewing nonsense about this article or this video or this person's position or this person's photo? It's aggravating. I'm not going to lie to you. But again, the only way that we're going to make progress going forward is to be able to speak more intelligently on the topics that we're fighting so hard to protect our rights. I'm Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics. Converse accordingly.